All right, so we're all getting pretty comfortable with AI, right? But what if I told you we're on the edge of something way bigger, a shift that's going to change the game completely? Let's dive into what's coming next for artificial intelligence. Think about how you use AI today. You're constantly feeding it prompts, right? You tell it what to think about. But what if you could just tell it what to do? I mean, really do things. That one little change, well, that's the key to everything that's coming. Okay, so before we jump into the future, we've got to get our bearings. Let's quickly talk about the AI that most of us are using right now. You know the drill, right? Tools like ChatGPT, they're amazing, but they're what you'd call passive chatbots. They basically just sit there, waiting for you. You give them a prompt, they spit out an answer, text, an image, whatever, and then that's it. They stop. You have to drive the entire conversation, every single step. But here's the thing. The next big wave isn't about just having smarter chats. It's about turning all that talk into actual action. And that, right there, is the core of it all. We're moving from just talking to doing. So, let me introduce you to the star of the show, the autonomous AI agent. And trust me, this is a whole different beast. This is proactive software. You don't give it a prompt, you give it a goal, something high level like, hey, plan my team's off-site trip to Lisbon. And then it just goes. It figures out all the steps, finds the right tools, and actually takes the actions to make it happen, all by itself. So let's just break that down. The difference is night and day, really. A chatbot is reactive. It waits for you to tell it what to do next. An agent is proactive. It takes your goal and just runs with it. One gives you answers, the other gets you results by executing real actions. You know, there's a really great way to frame this. It's like they stop being these digital dictionaries that you just look things up in, and they start becoming digital employees. Yeah, actual employees you can delegate whole projects to. Okay, so a digital employee sounds cool, but how does it actually work? How does it get stuff done? Let's pop the hood and take a look at the engine that makes these agents tick. Basically, it operates in this constant loop. First, perception. The agent looks around its digital space to see what's what. Then comes reasoning and planning, where it takes your big goal and chops it up into smaller, bite-sized tasks. Next up, tool use. It uses its digital hands to actually work with your apps, like your email or web browser. Then it takes an action and observes what happens. Did that work? And this last part is the magic sauce, self-correction. If something goes wrong, it doesn't just throw up its hands and quit. Nope. It analyzes the error and says, okay, that didn't work. Let's try this instead, all on its own. And what this means for us is a total shift in how we interact with our tech. We're moving away from prompting, carefully writing out every little instruction. Instead, we're moving to delegating. You're not just asking a simple question anymore. You're assigning a full-blown mission. Now, I know this might all sound a little bit like science fiction, but this isn't some far-off future. It's happening a lot sooner than you might think. So let's talk about what this really means for you. And get ready to meet your new digital teammate. All right, circle this year on your calendar, 2026. That's the year that experts are pointing to. It's when this whole agent-based AI is expected to really start hitting the mainstream, showing up in the apps and tools you're already using. So what's that actually going to look like in your life? Well, imagine your favorite apps having a new agent mode. You could just tell your spreadsheet, hey, analyze this quarter's sales data and make me a presentation. Or think about calling customer service. Instead of a frustrating menu, a voice agent could actually process your refund right there on the phone. We're talking digital assistants that can compile entire research reports for you. The possibilities are honestly pretty huge. And the ripple effect this is going to have on how we work, wow. Just picture a tiny startup or a small team being able to produce the same amount of work as a massive department. Why? Because they've got this army of digital agents handling all the grunt work, all the scaling. It's a genuine force multiplier. It's so big, it actually starts to change how business works. Companies might stop just selling you a subscription to their software. Instead, they'll sell you a work outcome. So you're not paying for the tool itself, you're paying for the finished result that the tools agent delivered for you, a totally different business model. Okay, but let's be real. A technology this powerful, it's not all sunshine and rainbows. It comes with some serious challenges. And that brings us to our last and honestly most important section, the risks, and maybe more importantly, what your job is in all of this. So, what's the catch, right? There's always a catch. Well, when you give an AI this much autonomy, you also create new risks that we have to be ready for.
So there are a few big ones to keep an eye on. You've got infinite loops. What if an agent gets stuck trying to book a flight and just keeps trying, racking up fees? Then there are new security vulnerabilities. Hackers could trick an agent into doing bad things. We've also got to think about over-reliance. If we let agents do everything, will our own skills start to fade? And maybe the biggest question of all is accountability. If an agent messes up and it costs a lot of money, who's to blame?
Yeah, these are some pretty serious questions. And they all point to one thing. For this whole new world to work safely, it needs one absolutely critical component. And that component is you. That's right. Because in this new world of autonomous agents, you're not being replaced. You're being promoted. Your new job title? Human supervisor. See, this isn't about the AI taking over. It's about you moving up. Your job becomes setting the big picture goals. You define the boundaries, the rules of engagement. You're the one who gives the final thumbs up on quality and accuracy. And crucially, you're the human in the loop who steps in when the agent gets confused or makes a mistake. You become the strategist, the manager, the boss. So it all comes down to this one last thought. If you have a digital teammate that can handle all the details of how to get something done, that frees you up to focus on the much bigger question of what. So with that power at your fingertips, what amazing what are you going to ask it to achieve?